So this is Kevin Boy with the Santa Rosa Press Gazette here with the Shadow Chasers, and we are going to do introductions now, starting with...
My name is Jonathan Reedland.
I'm Sarah White.
Raymond White.
Austin Williams.
And last but not least...
Okay.
All right. So, my first question to you is, tell us a little bit about Shadow Chasers, what it is, and how you guys got started.
Okay, I guess that falls to me.
Okay.
Since I'm founder of the group. I started Shadow Chasers probably 15 plus or more years ago. What we do is we offer discreet private investigations to offices, businesses, restaurants, homes, anywhere that might have paranormal activity.
Okay. What prompted you to start the
Shadow Chasers.
Shadow Chasers?
My own personal experiences with the spirit world.
Okay. And how did each of you become involved in the...
Well, he married me,
He-
so.
Okay. All right. So how did you become involved in it?
Well, I've always been intrigued ever since I was probably 10 or 12. After my grandfather had passed, I had seen his presence in the house, and it's always intrigued me, and I was kind of scared, I guess. And I met Sarah, 4 months ago, and we met.
Yeah, about 4.
And then we got to talking about the paranormal and things like that, and I became more and more intrigued about it. And she said, "You want to come along and join?" I said, "Heck yeah!" So here I am.
Okay. And how did you...
Well, it started off, with medical problems, at least, you could say. There were some medical issues that caused me to somewhat, you would say, an outer body experience. As I was there in the hospital, I could physically feel myself, something wasn't right. When I got released from the hospital, I told my mom exactly what the doctor's done. She's like, "Oh my God, there's no way of you to know that." I was like, "Yes, Mom." She's like, "You're correct on everything that you're telling me." So that was when I was 13. So since I was 13, I could always be able to see stuff, hear stuff, communicate with the spirit world. My gift that I have, it's hard to focus in and home on in, but there's so many people out there that don't believe in what we do, and then whenever they come in contact with someone like me or Miss Sarah or Jonathan or Raymond, they're like, "Oh crap, y'all are legit, y'all can do what you say you do." So, we've had a lot of experiences, to be honest. So, I've been contacted by several paranormal teams, for me to go and join them, and then it just got to a point where they said, "You're too powerful, we can't use you." So I contacted Miss Sarah Wright. I was like, "Look, this is my gift. I have a lot of stuff to offer your company. Let me join." So that's how I've started. And, we've been going hard ever since.
Okay. And Michelle, I'm going to come back to you. Tell us about each of your respective roles within the Shadow Chasers.
Okay. Well, I'm founder, of course, and head investigator. I lead the team on our investigations. Each one of us has a designated job within the team. I'll let them discuss it. I'm chief cook and bottle washer. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, and we all work together. There's 2 more members of us that wasn't able to be here today, but we make up a team of 6. There's a 7th person that's on the team. That's our son, but he's like an alternate. But we all just work really well together.
Okay.
We mesh very well.
Okay. And if you would tell me, what is your respective role on the team?
Right now, I'm just an investigator, a tech, and I've had few experiences, but I'm not tuned in as much as Sarah and Austin is. I more or less like put it on the back burner, so I don't want to get up there too involved. But I guess some of the houses that we lived in was really, really active.
Okay.
And well, one day I'd like to go back and do one especially.
Okay.
I'm an investigator, web designer, and Facebook, help out with the Facebook page, really.
Instagram.
And mainly, like I said, my main thing is a web page and then investigator.
Okay.
Okay, well, If you're ready for a list, I am the. You can ask Miss Sarah. She has to do a lot of work. Schedule manager, tour manager, phone call answer. I am the team psychic, medium, clairvoyant, empath, you could say. My job is detailed basically on investigator. I have 7 social media platforms I have to worry about daily. What to post on all 7, how to post about it, how to talk about it. And not only that, getting the Sarah's approval on these things where she's not driven crazy. So she leads me to putting up with all the excited people, basically. Social media crowd control, you could say.
Now, you said that part of your responsibility was clairvoyance, and so
Yes.
go into more detail about what that is.
Clairvoyancy is a state of homing in and concentration with the spiritual world. An example of clairvoyance is warning people when things are about to happen, warning people, hey, your loved one's here, they're communicating, may I deliver the message? There's a lot of skeptics out there that don't believe us. There's a lot of people out there that, oh, you're crazy, you need to be on psych medicine. But in reality, when they meet us and we pick up on their loved ones, their attitude changes towards us. They're like, oh my God, I love y'all. Y'all are legit. Y'all are amazing. I want to stay in contact with y'all. A little about empathic. It's more homing in the spiritual world. It's more concentration. Whenever you're in that empath set of state, Kevin, it emotionally drains you physically. It can make you physically sick to your stomach because you have so much energy coming through you at once. And you've got to learn to turn it off and turn it on, like a radio. If you want to listen to music, you turn it on. If you want to talk to spirit, you turn it on. If you don't want to, turn it off. It's, how can I put this? It's rewarding, but sometimes the houses and stuff that you go in, the spiritual world tries to take advantage of you. Because they know, hey, they can see me, they can hear me, they can talk to me. But at the same time, they're pushy. So they are in the mindset that, let's take control of all these team members. They can see us, no one else can. It's very emotional. Our job is emotional. It's not like, let's say a kid, if we come in contact with a kid, not only is it emotional, but with me being an empath, I can feel exactly what that spirit feels. Like, let's say if they pass from a car accident and they're letting me know this, I can feel my chest start to throb. I can feel, let's say if they were strangled, I get a bunch of deep breaths and filling around my throat area. So it's a difficult position to put in. You just got to know how to channel it correctly, because you have all these shows out there that claim to be psychic mediums, but yeah, you got to keep in the back of your mind, they've interviewed these people way before they met with them. Now, our biggest inspiration, you can ask Miss Sarah, right, is Lorraine Warren. She,
Yeah, Lorraine's great.
she's good at what her job is, but at the same time, she has to watch out how she communicates also. It's not like, your father's here, your brother, your sister's here. It's not like that. Or people think, we can talk to the afterlife whenever we want to, that you can't. You've got to learn to block it out, to basically turn it on and turn it off. It's very physically emotional, so our job's not easy. We have people that want us in their houses, business, residence, 24/7, but you have to keep in mind, when you come in contact with an evil entity, you have that 4 to 5 day period where you have to recover. And so, an empath clairvoyancy is emotionally, physically draining, but the gift is so wonderful.
Okay. And I want to come back to you and explain to me a little bit more about what an investigator is.
Why do you have to come to me? I don't know how to answer that.
Sure you do.
So you know.
Tell them what we do. What's an investigator?
You go into the the location that has whatever paranormal activities going on there. You go in there with your equipment. You have different types of equipment that you use. Like you have your voice recorder that can capture spirit voices. You have your, of course, your video camera. What else am I thinking? The millimeter.
DVR.
Well, I said DVR.
Okay.
But you go in there with your equipment, and you just try to capture any kind of scientific evidence to go along with what is being said is happening.
Okay.
We have equipment with us today too, if you want to take a look.
Good. Yeah, we will be. All right. Now, I want to ask you if you can show us some examples of things you have seen while you've been on investigations and kind of explain
Now,
the process for it.
For the privacy of our clients, okay, I do ask that these not be shown out, in the public.
Okay.
But for the purposes of just getting it here, we can show you just a little bit here. I did bring these.
If you want to just show them to me, and then
Yes,
I can
that
then
is
just explain
a
it to them.
investigation
Okay.
that we were on and we were conducting, and the mother of the little girl kept saying that she saw things. So that night in particular, it was a lot happening and a lot going on. There was a meteor shower that night, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the photography that we did. There is no photoshopping of those photos whatsoever. That's just a few of the ones that I took that night, and some of the rest of the team.
Okay.
It's taken with a digital camera. Brand new batteries in it. The camera worked perfect before that night and after that night. That night only, we got the pictures like this. Every single shot we took.
Okay.
Some of us, the investigators that were there in the home, we took pictures, as, the investigators were going around and doing their jobs and whatnot. You could actually see through us. And we knew we weren't a spirit, we were actual human bodies standing there conducting the investigation. And you could actually physically see through us and see the furniture behind us.
Okay.
So how do you explain something of that nature? You can't. I have tried to debunk it. Do you see the face
Yes,
on
I
the
do.
side that is clearly not the mother? And the little girl in the picture was crying her eyes out, saying she saw the boogeyman. The boogeyman. And that happened in that picture.
Okay. Now, you say that you cover Escambia, Santa Rosa,
Anywhere.
anywhere. Or do you plan to do any investigations in the Santa Rosa County area in the near future?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that leads me to my next question. I saw when we were discussing that you were having an event,
A meet and greet.
a meet and greet on
Yes,
July
sir.
7th. So tell us more about that.
That is set up with one of our sponsors, Pensacola Vinyl Boutique. They printed the shirts for us. They've gotten logos for us, decals, caps, koozies, car tags, anything that we can come up with, they're printing off and taking care of us.
Okay.
That event will be a big day event where we'll have
Water slide.
a water slide. Cat Country, I think they're getting in touch with them to see if they can come out and broadcast that day. Just a big event for people to come and meet us and see what this is all about. Because still, there's a lot of shows out there like, Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins, what's the other one? Taps is off the air now. But, the ones that have, paved the way for paranormal teams like us, they don't understand it. And we just want to make the public aware. We want to let them know that they're not crazy, because most of the people that call us, they say, well, we feel crazy and we don't have anybody to talk to about our experiences for fear of people thinking that we're nuts. You're not nuts. We believe, because each one of us on the team has had our own personal experiences. Myself, I'm an empath as well, and I've had experiences since I was a child. And of course, my parents thought I was nuts too, because my mom and dad were both in the ministry, with both of them together 50 years apiece, so 100 years in the faith, in the ministry. And, they knew about afterlife and they believed in all of it, but they hadn't actually seen anything. But I did from an early age, and it's just a gift that God gave me. And like Austin said, sometimes it's a blessing and a curse. You know, because you see things and you know that it's there and you believe in it because you're actually seeing it and you're hearing it, because I can audibly hear the spirits when they talk to us sometimes. But on the other side of it, you see things that you don't want to see. You know, I get precogs and I will, you know, hone in on something, and I'll call my children or my family and say, hey, don't go here today because of such and such, you know. And then I've seen things, you know, that from people out in public that I don't really want to see. Sometimes I'll approach the person, sometimes I won't. It just depends on how my spirit tells me and guides me to do
it. If people want to get in contact with you, is there a phone number or a website that they can call to get in contact with you?
Yes, there's all kinds of avenues. We have cards, of course. Jonathan is reaching in his pocket to get one. But you can go to our website. We have a Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. We're out there, okay? And of course, you see us around town because we live locally. All of us are local, and you might see one of us out and about doing our daily routines with our families. Don't be afraid to stop us. I mean, I was in Atmore yesterday with my mother for a doctor's appointment, and Austin went with us because I needed help. My mother fell, and I needed help getting her into the doctor. And we were sitting there in the waiting room, and a man approached us and just started talking to us about the spirit world and about his, you know, things that he had done, or had experienced. But it's just neat whenever somebody comes up and validates what we do. You know, hey, I've had experiences. You know, do you think I'm crazy? No, we don't think you're crazy. We believe and we understand, and we're here to help.
What are some of your, say, go places to investigate in the near future?
Okay, we're going to the Defuniak Hotel.
Okay.
Hotel Defuniak. I always get it backwards. Sorry. I always get it backwards. We're going to do Murder Creek. That's in Bruton. Also, we've had a call about the peg-leg man, as they call him, on the railroad tracks there in Bruton. We're fixing to do it. We have a list of about 21 or 22 investigations that are coming up. We're slammed right now at this moment. The Thompson House.
In Baghdad.
Yeah, in Baghdad.
Are there any locations in Milton or Pace or the Crest area that you guys are currently looking into?
We have contacted about getting into the Imogen. Again, I've personally done the Imogen, but some on the team have not. And I would like for them to experience what I experienced there. We have asked to get into the Exchange Hotel. We've been called about Arcadia Mills. Just all kinds of different locations here around town.
Okay. And now, before we finish, if you will show us, if you would be good enough to show us some of your equipment and
Sure, be
explain
glad
to
to.
us.
And you're welcome to play with it if you want to.
I
Anything that you want to look at, you're more than welcome to.
I may have you guys demonstrate it.
Guys, did you bring in your...
Mine's in my truck. I didn't bring it because you had pretty much the same stuff I do, don't you?
You're an investigator.
Would you like me to go get it?
Yes, I would like you to, please. I can't hear you. Okay, this is one. It's called the ghost meter.
Okay.
Okay. This will go off as like an EMF detector.
Okay.
And it will, if there's any changes in the atmosphere as far as electrical current, it will pick up and it will go off. This end here will light up.
Okay.
Okay, and that's a pretty cool little device. That's one of my favorites. Let's see. Here is our digital voice recorder. We count on this little baby a lot, and each one of us has one. This is what, of course, if you've watched the ghost shows out there, this piece of equipment is called a DVR, digital voice recorder. And what this does when we are actually making contact with the spirits, we turn this on and tape the entire investigation when we're speaking to them.
Okay.
And just like I'm sitting here and talking to you now, if I was to turn this on, if there was anything in the building here, you would be able to hear them talk in between mine and your conversation.
Okay.
It's very cool, very neat piece of equipment, very important piece of equipment for the team. Okay, we have I got all kinds of toys, Kevin.
That's all right.
This is one of our grids. Okay, as you see it there, we will turn out all the lights in the building that we're in, and it will simply go on the wall.
Okay.
Okay, it'll set on a little tripod like what you've got. Sorry, Jonathan. Right there, it'll set on a table. And when we are conducting the DVR, the session with them to talk to them, if they manifest and make themselves known, they will break that grid. You will simply see a shadow walk through the grid.
Okay.
So that's another piece of evidence to let you know that they are actually there. Okay? And we've got different colors. We've got the red, and we've got the green. I think some of you guys have got purple or blue or something.
I have red and green.
You've got red and green? Okay. But that's our laser pens.
Okay.
Of course, you got to have your trusty flashlight. You never leave home without one. So, let's see. Here is another piece of equipment that we have. This is a digital thermometer.
Okay.
Okay, and what it does, you see the light, you point it in the room. Now, like a room can be warm, okay, and then whenever we're talking to the spirits and doing an investigation, you feel cold spots, okay. You have to make sure that it's not air conditioned, different factors within the room that can cause the fluctuation of the temperature. But we had one to go down. How far down did it go the other night? 62?
62.
And it was up on
75, 76.
75, 76. Comfortable temperature, but it went down to 62.
And it dropped fast.
Did. So that's another indicator to let you know that there is a spirit within the room.
Okay. And what kind of equipment do you have?
I have a portable voice recorder, like Miss Sarah's, pretty much same thing. That's to capture voices.
He's got the better,
Better
the
stuff.
toys.
I have this is a millimeter, which is it has a built-in thermometer, so you can check your fluctuations in temperature. And this also has
Up there so you can see it.
what's the word I'm looking for? Not a K12. Trying to think the actual name, what meter that is. Dadgummit.
EMF?
Yes. Sorry, thank you. It's the EMF detector.
Oh, crystal ball.
And this here is the SV11 Spirit Box. You can turn it on, and same as a voice recorder, you ask questions. This one, you actually get an audible yes, no, audible answers to your questions through this device.
Okay.
That's the pièce de résistance, you say? Right there. That's the baby right there.
That's all I have at the present moment.
They can
Okay.
actually, this works off of white noise, AM, FM waves, and they can actually, you can hear them speak audibly to you in
Okay.
this device. And we also have other equipment that's not with us. We have night vision cameras, a full range of wireless cams that we set up with the DVR at the desk and the monitor. I mean, the whole 9 yards, just like you see on the shows on TV.
Okay.
You have to be prepared. If you go into an investigation unprepared, then you're not going to get much. You have to have the tools for the trade that we do.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about shadow chasers or paranormal investigation in general?
I would.
Okay.
Let me see how I want to say this just as politely as I possibly can. We don't worship Satan.
Okay.
A lot of people will shy away and they'll say, "Oh, you're doing hell, Satan," or whatever, however they say it, which is kind of crazy sometimes. No, we're not calling up demons. We're not doing anything of that sort because each one of us on our team is faith-based. We all come from a religious background and we have our own faith that we follow. And I know who my Lord and Savior is, and that's Jesus Christ. And he said he put us here for one purpose, and that's to help our fellow man with anything and to love our fellow man. And that's what we want to do. We want to help people that are having problems that don't understand what's going on. We can go in, show them what we do, counsel them, and help them and give them answers. Okay? If they want to get rid of it, we can get rid of it. If they want to keep it, hey, by all means, keep it. You know, it's totally up to the client.
Okay.
We do have some cases coming up, and I've already spoke to them, and I've went over that with them, and I asked them, you know, do you want us to ban the spirit if when we find our evidence? And they're like, well, you know, that might be good. That might be that might be good for our business, you know. And I said, hey, that's cool. You know, you can angle that if you want to. That will bring you in a lot of customers, but I said it also might make you lose a lot of customers because a lot of people don't want to deal with the paranormal. Right. It scares them. And quite frankly, you know, if you're not used to it, it will scare you. Okay? That's the only message that I've got. We're here to help. We're not here to hurt or harm anyone.
All right. Okay. Well, then this has been Kevin Boyer with the San Jose Press Gazette interviewing shadow chasers, and we have been interviewing, and say your names again for us.
Raymond.
Sarah.
John.
Austin.
And the youngest member of the team.
Hi.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Kevin.